It's hot, 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 hot. Happy Sunday. Happy day. Peace. I wanted to hop on real quick and talk about the ing, the ing being in the process of, or being in the process, and how, oh Lord, it's hot. When we're in the process, we get to acknowledge where we are. We get to acknowledge what that looks like and what is necessary, or figure out what is necessary and needed from us in that process. So in the English language, we use ing at the end of words to show that we are in the process of something. So you'll say, I'm talking, I'm doing, I'm running, right? So in the process of healing, right? We're in the ing of this thing. We're still processing it. It requires us to be present to what we need in this process. It requires us to go deeper, right? When we are done with the process, we would say we talked, we did, we healed, we walked. So we have an ED at the end. And I've been getting, especially from a lot of my clients, like, I just can't heal this thing, right? And it's mainly because in the process, in the ing, we are not doing investigative work. We are focusing on the top layer of the wound, and then we are shutting down once we get that done. We're moving on. If you think of yourself like a piece of fruit, you got to think about it like this. The fruit grows, turns into a mature fruit eventually, and then somehow it gets bruised. Maybe it falls from the tree, rolls down the ground, somebody throws it, whatever. But before it's broken, it's bruised. And that is the first layer of the wound. But we are used to looking at the top layer of the wound where we're broken. So we'll say, oh, I have abandonment issues, da 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 da, because I don't like, because I didn't feel supported or loved as a kid, da 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 da, right? We'll have it. One thing that we can tie this to, and we'll think that is the broad conversation of the wound that we are carrying when there are layers. There was a bruising that caused this issue. And so if you just name it, oh, I have abandonment issues, and you just focus on that, then you're not dealing with the symptoms. You're only dealing with the symptoms. You're not dealing with the root cause of this issue, which is where the bruising or the original infraction is. In my coaching with women, I'm constantly asking them to go back, and it's hard work. Thank you to everybody who signed up and has tried and has done it. It's a lot of work. I'm constantly asking them to go back to the bruising, because you were bruised a few times before you broke. And that's where the work is. If you consistently worry about the top layer, you're going to stay in the state of ing, in the process of. Once you lift that wound up and go under it, and you work from the bottom up, you can get to the ed, or the finished state. Okay? Now, will there be other things? Of course, there'll be always things to work on. There'll always be things to grow in. This is a experiential experience. We're here to learn. Healing is a learning process, just like school. It's not, hey David, it's not a process where it just ends because you did one thing, right? There's other pieces to the process. You're going to have to keep going and going deeper and deeper and deeper. And then once you figure out one thing, it's going to probably tie into about 2 or 3 other things that you've been possibly plagued by, especially if you haven't done any real deep introspective work around yourself and around your healing. You have to ask yourself, what does it feel like when I feel abandoned? What does it taste like? Because there's a taste, there's a smell, there's a sound that you associate with these things. You have all of these things that are connected. And you don't have to go in and work on each one of those things to disassociate, or actually not disassociate, to not associate yourself with these things being a trigger for this event in your experience. So it's layers and layers and layers of things. It's not just, oh, somebody didn't show up for me. It's, I had to ask for support all the time. I didn't get, that money for the book fair ever. And I just never felt like nobody supported me and that wanted me to read. And now I can't read, or I have difficulty reading, or I don't like talking in public because I don't like my speaking voice, because I don't like the form words, because I didn't have that support. There's like so many branches to this. It's not just the one thing. And a lot of times we only want to work on the one thing because it's just easier to think that that's the depth in which we get to focus on. And then when we keep engaging with new people, keep getting bruised, we keep reopening the wound, because the wound hasn't been sought out. It hasn't been explored. We don't know what that wound feels like when, somebody that we love deeply touches it. We don't know what that wound feels like when an associate touches it. We don't know what that wound feels like when our child touches it. We don't know what that wound feels like when we touch it. And we have to know all those things so that when we show up to that space and that space is triggered or activated in a certain kind of a way, we can develop the tools that we need in order to transform that energy and to thrive. He said, ooh, that feels like it could keep me perpetually angry. If anger is something you feel comfortable with, yes, it would be. And you have to ask yourself, why is that your comfort space? Why is that your go-to when you don't understand something or when you don't know something? Where did you even learn that from? Where did you learn that the natural response to not knowing is anger? Because your natural response could be curiosity instead. But somebody taught you, or you learned somewhere, that your natural response to learning things over and over again that you have difficulty learning or understanding is anger. And we even have to ask ourselves that. Where did I learn this? Reaction. Who taught me this? Did I learn this from adults around me? Did I learn this from other kids when I was in school? Is this something I internalized and taught myself because it got me certain results that made me feel comfortable? And is this working for me? Is it working for me? Does it produce wellness in my life? Does it produce good things in my life? Does it produce a sense of self-awareness? Does it produce a sense of self-love for myself in my life? That's a way to check, is this working? Or does it shut down possibilities? Does it end my ability to communicate? Does it step in the way of does it make me more harmful to others and myself? And that's the way that it's not working. Those are ways that you know it's not working. I haven't been on in a while. I just wanted to hop on because I had some time. And I was thinking about that, and I talked about it a little bit on Instagram, and I thought, let me go on and talk live about it here. I owe y'all some live yoga. I owe y'all a lot of things over here. I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been hanging in there with me. YouTube is just not my most favorite space. It's just not. I'm working on liking YouTube again. It's just a very calculated space, and I don't like calculated spaces. I guess I just decided it's been the first step I take when I end or downgrading a relationship. Thanks for the insight. You're so welcome. And you deserve love, you deserve peace, you deserve, to walk out of those spaces with a sense of, I did the best that I could. It didn't, and my best was good enough. This just wasn't the space for me. Sometimes that's all it is. Sometimes we just are very good at putting ourselves in spaces that are not for us. I was actually talking on Instagram about how we live on the earth, right? We live on this beautiful planet, and the sun revolves around the earth, right? So that's already telling us what the physical space of this domain demands. It demands that our universe demands that we are the center and things revolve around us, right? But we're taught the exact opposite. We're taught that everything else is the earth and we're the sun, and we're going to run around it. And then we're depleted. We're angry, we're frustrated, we're sick, we're tired, our bodies don't work, we don't function, our minds are all turned off. Because we're going in the exact opposite of what our physical reality demands of us. I hope this helps. Be the earth, be still, use your magnetic force to draw into things. And I hope that resonates. I'm gonna leave this up because I love a good delete. Y'all have a good holiday weekend, and I'll see you guys next time I decide that I have time. I got to get y'all some yoga though. I promise I'll be back soon. All right, peace.